did a lot of hiking. So this summer I want to continue that because if I felt so alive, and I didn't know how much I missed it till I hadn't done it in a while. So definitely feeling that earth on your feet on the ground, and just being in places where there's no technology going and you're just really focused in your families, where I'm going to be this summer a lot. Yeah. That's where I'm going.
Wow. Okay. Ooh, okay, that was really good. So Beasia, I'm trying to get to you. Here we are to unmute your mic. Beasia, can you tell us what you plan to do?
Hi, good evening, everyone. What I plan to do to work myself is more of self-care and just taking care of myself by just going out with things that I'm interested in. And also I'm planning on going on a retreat in August, a healing retreat, something that I'm looking forward to because that'll be more about self-care for me.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Okay, so here we are. Miss Erudite, welcome.
Peace and blessings and grand rising to everyone. Well, how do I like to heal and dealing with my healing journey? Self-care is very imperative factor for me. Like today, I did somatic yoga, but I trained myself, so I follow a routine schedule, like 3 days of strength training, then 3 days of some stretching of yoga. Rest one day would be Saturday, I would rest, and then Sunday I would do somatic yoga.
Wow.
But I like Qigong and Wing Chun as well. That's what I incorporate.
Well, you can't just pass over that name and not tell me what that is. What is that?
Wing Chun and Qigong?
Yes.
Well, Wing Chun is, that's the arts of the Asian art, but Wing Chun is definitely a woman art. It's not men for Wing Chun. It's definitely made for women, like Taekwondo and all of that. But the Wing Chun was always mastered from a woman.
Wow.
And Qigong is good as well.
Okay.
I will be attending the healing retreat as well in August for like the weekend as well.
Wow, I think retreats are like. So I believe that's what I've been doing with you ladies so far since I met you. Like I've been on this retreat with you at some time or another. We had a conversation. We've been in a space that it was really calming and it was really neutral. It was open and caring, and I just feel like that could be a retreat, right? Like some of us can't afford the opportunity to be on a retreat, but I would like to encourage people to just like retreat where you are. If you're in a room, try to find a corner that you could create that could be yours. Add your favorite colors, your favorite things. I'm not sure how that works, but like just be creative with yourself in order to pave the way in your mind to. So, Stephanie, when you offer that watering yourself, I had to really talk to myself because I just started adding water to my hair. Like I was just told that the crown of our heads, when we wear our natural hair, especially in this heat, we have to water it just like a plant, spray bottle and, spray the roots and then maybe add a little oil. So that was interesting to me. That was something because I'm used to like wearing a shower cap and making sure that my hair don't get wet. But I think my hair is growing differently now that I started, adding water. So it's like the cleanse. Tracy and I today we were at the lake, and I felt like I was taking the water and I was using it to cleanse myself. I really felt good. I was talking to someone right before this call, and they're like, "Sparkle, you're glowing." I'm like, "I am." What was so interesting, I was joking around with Tracy, but I was kind of serious at the same time. I'm like, what are the chances that after we're here cleansing ourselves, there's like a tornado warning? I'm like, you gosh dang all right. If I put my foot in that water, you better be right. Like it's just like the power of being in tune as a woman, right? Like, we have to tune into it. We have to channel it. We have to water it. So I'm really looking forward to what's going on today. See, I had a script ready, but we cannot script when it comes to ourselves. We have to just, accept ourselves as we show up for ourselves and just strengthen where we are, right? So I want to hear some more thoughts. I do have some questions for us, but I want to know where people are. I want us to keep flowing because I kind of like it without the script. How about you, Shelly? I think you got to unmute your mic. Wait. Shelly, you have to unmute your mic.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I'm bad. I mean, I can't stop grinning. When you said, "What am I thinking?" I can't stop grinning. Every person has just added DAP, DAP to the energy, and it was Asia. No, not Asia. Step. Their faces are gone, so I don't have the name, but the oh goodness. Any rate, when we're just all adding, everybody is. She said about energy. That's what it was. It was about the energy, and that we're all feeling it, and not to get political, but and not calling a party or anything. But I'm saying right now, politics is the energy of the earth right now. It's the and for me, it's the meanness versus peaceful. We can call them parties or names, but that's not what is important for me right now. But you can feel this almost like Stephen King's The Stand, which was the East Coast, West Coast being the Rockies as the demarcation zone between good and evil.
Yin and yang. Yin and yang.
Yes, absolutely. Except, yeah. Except I don't really think that either one of those is evil. They're counterbalances.
True.
Like justice. I don't really think justice is good or evil. It's just the counterbalance of whether things are on or off. And the Supreme Court right now, they're not even in sequence to justice and being blind. And that's what it is. When she's covered and it's, fair. That's all anybody wants is fair. We don't all win. In fact, it's baked in. 2-year-olds know, 3-year-olds know, but they know when it's unfair more. And that's where the pain in the solar plexus and the hurt comes from unfairness. And I think that's where we're at right now, is that people are hurting when they hurt, but from unfairness. There's medical issues sometimes that happen, or divorce or heartache, but those have an author. It's when you don't have that explicit written down where it's coming from that is uncertainty. And I just believe that we're all messengers, and all we can do is just trying to keep putting salve or balm on folks that are hurting. When you see someone that's just not balanced, listen to what they're saying and counteract it with words and deeds, not telling your story to them. Sometimes we get too much in like telling everybody everything instead of listening and just, trying to counterbalance their personal woes. So I'm just in a good spot right now.
With that being said, ladies, I don't got no script. I'm listening. I'm all ears.
So I'll just say it started. Really, the whole reason on why I was saying watering is because that's where I am in my life, in my age. I have grown to get some understanding and some wisdom that I didn't realize until I got older. It took time for me to get it and lessons for me to learn it. And then I realized that I need to go back into myself to really be able to put forth the proper energy that I feel my area community needs. I need to be balanced, and that's where I found that I needed to do self-help. Self-help was, I like to take a bath with my candles. I like to be in my house and just maybe my underwears, whether it's nobody's looking at me or my blinds are closed. It's just freedom in myself. I had to really take a look at myself in the mirror and really realize and look and think about, what do people really see when they see me? Do they see my light as the light that I see? And then I had to think about, okay, now when people don't see the light, why is that? So then I had to really reevaluate myself. It might be that there's something going on with them instead of really seeing me for me, and I'm being misunderstood. People nowadays, we're all being misunderstood because we're all hurting, as she said. We have this pain that we have all experienced in different forms. And as she's saying, it could be medical, it could be relationship, it could be child, it could be parent. But we're all going through something at this point, and this is where it has us in this particular energy, where we have to make a choice. Do we want to be depressed? Do we want to be misunderstood? Do we want to have these negative energies around us? No, we don't. We know that's not the way that we really are supposed to be in. We really are supposed to be. How it's like when we go on the plane, how are we supposed to put the mask on our baby first, but then all of a sudden, if we pass out by not putting it on us and then being able to give our help to our children, then it's like we're losing. We're losing. Reading books, that was the biggest epiphany that I got. Picking the right books to read, because we're not going to get the knowledge just from word of mouth, because we might not meet the right people that's going to give it to us. Um, the Bible just came, I wasn't one to read it. That's just my religion, I'm saying. But as I read it more and I understand it more better, I got more peace in my life. That was my self-help. I needed to get a different understanding, and I had to really dive into just the bare basics. When you say the water over your head, we're baptized. What happens? We're dunked our head into water. It's a birth. It's a rebirth. We are birthed from a bag of water. We're, this is where we come from. Our bodies is made up of about 70% of water. The earth, same thing, same ratio. It's water based. We have to be comfortable in the element of water, because it is a key part to ourselves. And really washing and cleansing is part of getting these bad feelings. And, the skin needs to get some nourishment, and that's through water. It's absolutely through water.
I was watching something, and they put like a glass of water that was talked to really well and a glass of water that was talked to really bad, like a negative and a positive, and they showed the difference in the patterns of the water. So this stuff is deep about the water, and then we use the water to nourish ourselves and to create life by watering others, I guess. Sarah, you're back. I got a question for you, and then Heather, and then Tracy. I don't. Tracy's coming back. I would like to know, what practices do you use to maintain your mental and emotional well-being?
Hmm. Um, One of the things I like to do is have something on the calendar that I'm looking forward to. When I had my first son, I started getting like postpartum depression around like when he was about 9 months old. And I started seeing like a therapist for it. And one of the things that the therapist said that would be really helpful is to have something on the calendar that you're looking forward to. So that way, no matter kind of what emotion you're in, you can always know that there is happiness like on the way, right? Like doing something that you really, really love with a friend was really, really helpful. And so that's one of the things of many things that I like to do and I'm trying to do more of to help me with my self-care. So that way I can just plan and I can let everybody else know in my life, I'm unavailable, I am doing this. And it's just for me, like I'm the person who benefits. And it's okay to put those boundaries and it's okay to block off time just for me and my benefit.
I like that, Sarah. I have this once a week at 7, like early in the morning, where I meet with like these 4 old men. I met them one time at a coffee shop, and every Thursday I go see them. And I say to my husband, figure out how to bring Kaz to school. Figure it out, because I love meeting with these little old guys every Thursday and hanging out with them and talking to them. And they have so much stuff. We talk about so many different things, and I look forward to it every week. I'm a person that thrives on other people's energy. I like to be around people. I like to soak them in, and that waters me. People around me, being around people, being social, hugging people, that makes me feel alive. That's my cat, if you hear it meowing. So, it's important, like you said, this is my time. This is what I'm doing. And those little old men are my favorite people every Thursday. I recommend you all go check them out. They're so cool. And so I get that. And I used to feel bad to ask my husband, like, oh, can you just watch them? I'm like, no, this is my time. I want to go this one day a week, and I want to have it, and I don't want to feel bad about it. So I totally get what you're saying with scheduling time for yourself like that.
Okay, you back, Trace?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yes, I am back.
You want to share what you do?
Um, I just started learning to do more for myself and take that time and do things like that. So I'm doing a lot of listening, like she said earlier. So I'm learning to listen versus running my jibs. So I'm listening and I'm taking some really good nuggets in, and I'm going to make sure I put them to use. And I appreciate everyone openly sharing.
Yes. Beasia Rise. That's what I like to call her. I like to rise. Can you share a time when self-care helped you through a difficult period? Like, what do you do?
A lot of times, self care helped me through a difficult period. Like when I couldn't control my anger, I just turned on some music, went to my room, shut the door, and just was in the zone, just listening to the good music. And that's what helped my anger calm down. Then there was another time for self care that helped me with anger once again. I did a lot of breathing exercises, and that helped because when you're doing all the breathing, inhale, exhale, counting down, that's also sending the signal back to your brain so that you can calm down. So the breathing is very helpful, and it works
And it
because it
works.
calms down. Yeah, because it calms down nerves and send that signal back to the brain, so you get more calm.
Just took a deep breath.
A lot of deep breaths, not just one, but it's like 8 and then exhale. Then another 8, then hold for 4, then exhale and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you saying you breathe in for 8 seconds and hold it in?
Yeah,
Wow.
like yeah, you gotta hold it in and then you exhale out and just continuously until you feel that it's helping.
Okay, I gotta work my way. I probably at a 6.5. Thank you for sharing, Beasia.
You're welcome.
What were you saying, Heather? I heard you saying something.
Well, when she was talking about being angry, I was going to say, I feel like a big thing that I like that I do in the community is I do a lot of advocating. And there's sometimes when things are happening because I know so much and I want to teach that to everybody. And when things are happening and they don't understand, and there's so many people that don't understand it, I just want to go on social media and put the worst stuff out there and just say how it is and not be angry. And that's been one of my struggles is like, my husband talking me off of the edge of saying things that people are going, that once you say something on social media that is negative, then people look at you as not a serious person sometimes. So when you go off the rails, and as much as it's the right thing and we're telling the truth, we just can't go that way because then we lose people that don't want to follow or just think you're just a nut job out there. So controlling anger has been something I would love advice more on, because I'm not doing it, but I have like, I'm this close sometimes lately of doing it. So that is something I'm working on. But one thing that I have done that's helped me through my anxiety and PTSD is I talk openly about it. I have no problem talking about it on video to people. It actually helps me, and it's helped me grow a lot. I'm definitely learned how to live with it and not hate it, if that makes any sense to any of you. So one thing that's helped me through hard times is being really open with people about it, and talking to people about it. And the response has always been awesome, but it helps me heal. So definitely being open and forward, and if you don't want to hear it, you don't have to, but I'll go on and make stories and talk about my anxiety or an issue I'm going through, and it feels good. It's helpful. So yeah.
Release.
Yeah, you get it.
That's exactly true. And that's exactly what I use this platform to do as well. I just want to do it with women that I know are really inspirational, really kick butt out there. And you guys, for the most part, keep it real. This is Reality Speaks TV, real people in real time. Like, we're really going through these things and we're really living it. And we're not ashamed of our story. We're telling her story. We're not letting anyone control the pen. Like, don't let anyone write your story. You tell it while you're here and, articulate yourself. Ain't that right, Shelley? Yes. Miss Erudite, I have a question
Okay, go ahead.
for you. Because I know that I've called you for recipes before in regards to your physical health. What are your favorite ways to nourish your body through nutrition?
Oh, that's easy. You have to eat clean food and eat live, food, not the dead food or anything with GMO, because we are what our foods eat. So it's better to deal with more of a plant-based diet. Then when you want to drink water, you have to watch the water that you are drinking. If you could get live water, um, which would be more of a light therapy water, that is better. And nourishing, you have to make sure that you are able to heal your body through the cells. So if you do not heal the body on a cellular level, you will not be able to get rid of any type of sickness. So what I usually do, like today is Sunday, today is self-care. So I would do yoni steaming that has RFID and LED of the infrared therapy. I have infrared therapy for the facial mask. I use that. There's a lot that needs to be done, but you have to make sure that you're eating clean food if you want to nourish the body. You cannot eat dead food and think you're going to be able to nourish the body. And then for ones that are dealing with things that's into their body and they need to heal through on a cellular level, even in the mental, they should be doing red light therapy because it heals you on a infrared. Red light therapy will heal you on that cellular level. You muted, Sparkle.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was going to say that's very interesting because there's an infrared sauna where I go, and there's also the dry sauna. So I'm hearing about this infrared therapy. I haven't gone into the infrared, and you're saying now that it's like healing on a cellular level. Does the dry sauna do the same thing?
No, it doesn't. You need infrared. And if you could get infrared with vibration, that's even better because it starts taking the toxins out and draining the lymphatic.
Yep.
Have any of you other ladies heard of that?
What was the question?
Well, I'll just counterpoint. I mean, I'm 68 years old. I drink tap water. I have no medications. I think if you mow your own lawn, go outside, do things, interact, there's a lot that just comes from just being. And then, there's also what's pay for things. But I actually think that's getting on the bit. And for the
Part of it.
youngins, right now, the 30, 40-year-olds and 20-year-olds, I feel so sad because everything is all this discourse on like what you're supposed to be chasing for that moment instead of just being in the moment and doing. And when you look at who the long haulers are, the 80, the 90-year-olds and the 100-year-olds that are ambulatory isn't even the biggest one. It's here. It's the noodle. It's curiosity. It's the segment that Sarah said a minute ago, as a microcosm. It's the looking forward. That's what keeps like the 90 and 100-year-olds that I'm experiencing. I have some really good friends, and I get scared every day that they're not going to be there because I don't know who's going to fill their gulfs in my world. They're my juice because they're so simple and basic and honest. They're not chasing on nothing except talking to their friends. They all have community. You don't have to have a lot of friends. You can count them on 2 or 3 fingers, one finger. But you just have to have community that is something that is yours and something, as Sarah said, to look forward to. And if you, the everybody that I want to emulate, they're not the marathoners. They're not, it's one foot over the other in dream. And just, I hope you all don't go to sleep on having aged folks in your life. They are so rewarding. It's not, they like you when you're just regular. They're not spotting you on who's saying what and what's going on and what's the fad and what's this and it's just simple, delicious talk. And they're so honest. And I don't think I'd like to trade back and be 20 or 30 or 40 at all. I'm so sad. The chasing, that's all I hear is chasing. And then it's coming through in the medical prowess now with the cancer rates of 30 and 20 and 30-year-olds from not eating foods, drinking everything, chasing, like drinking this thing and drinking that thing. And the colons, the stomach is not working anymore. It's just sliding food. And I think that's kind of what's going on as a broad branch. You don't have to chase nothing. You don't have to chase a Berkey bag. You don't have to chase anything. If it comes and you have the opportunity, that's what it's about. But you don't have to chase nothing. Just enjoy. And that is your chase. That, like you said, you went to the beach. It turns you on that you want to go again, or just even sometimes just make that little beach in your backyard, a stupid little $14 pool with your feet in it and your brain dreaming. It's there's no and everybody, and what we're all fortunate about is within $10 and worth of gas. From where we are within so many natural treasures. There's a falls for any of us for $10, of $5 to get there and $5 to get back. A falls, which people come from all over the world. Pixley Falls. There's just Green Lakes, Oneida Lake. We are so blessed. The Barge Canal or the Erie Canal. There's all these little jetty points that you can for free just go and throw down a blanket with some food and dream. You don't have to chase nothing. It's my thing.
I
Accept
like
that
that.
dream.
I like that. Stephanie, I'm coming right back to you. That was really like, this is so cool, man. So my question for you is surrounded about around spirituality. How do you nurture your spiritual well-being?
So I do a lot of writing, and the things that I write in different times of my life, there could be times when I'm happy, when I'm inspirational, when I'm depressed, when I'm joyful, when I'm forgiving, when I'm understanding. And I attained that to what I've now picked up was the Bible, for my spirituality. And then I just look at the universe around me and I listen to it. I'm very in tune into that. I believe that that is his source to kind of give us a guidance. Is he sends the animals, the nature, the grass, the trees, the wind, the the earth. It speaks to us. We just never really pay no mind to it because we continue to walk on it, as opposed to actually taking a look at it, smelling it, the simple things. You know, when you feel something and all of a sudden the sun comes out, right? You gotta be like, yes, I received. That's what you gotta do instead, because it
But
always
you know
does.
what? I just wanted to show you. I'm sitting way in the backyard and I have ducks and they all just kind of migrate. And then as soon as you said the sun comes out, it came. So you can't right into the
That's
thing.
our
But
confirmation.
and you were talking about nature and the sun and power.
That is my gift to y'all women, so that we can really see, because we need to speak this out to everybody because it's alive. The universe hears us when we're arguing with people. It does things. When we're happy, it shows
Mm,
us. You know, it really does.
True
I
that.
look at the little things, butterflies. I look at the color of the butterflies. I look at the birds that come. The birds are our music from above, from the universe. We got to really tune into those because they sing songs to us. They have patterns that they sing to us. And then I have this, boy, I got birds in my backyard that I feed. I feed them all the time. I don't care about the mess that they make. I don't really care about that. I'll sweep it away. But I have this cardinal that comes to me on cue, sometimes on certain times, but he right there loud
Those
as
are
ever.
ancestors. Those are ancestors. Cardinals are ancestors.
Yes.
And that's an ancestor speak.
There's sometimes it's always the boy, and the boys are the beautiful birds. You know, that's
mm,
I look at that. Nature shows us that our men are, they're precious to us. They are beautiful, and we don't treat them like that. This is what the disruption and the misunderstanding comes from. We don't really look at them as, if they're not paying our bills, let's say, or they're not doing the garbage, or they're not doing certain things that we feel man's supposed to do. We don't look at them as what they really are. When really they're soft. They're loving. They want to be loved and they want to be able to trust us, but we're so independent women, strong women, that we this is what happened to us through society, and this is what they're trying to teach us. But really, if we embrace our men, and they will treat us like
mm.
gold. And that is such a securing feeling, so that then as a team we can make moves together, as long as we're both feeling secure. I feel that when a man listens to you and really does, change happens naturally, and things around you change, and your spirit will change. I feel like that is also part of the divine coming through, because we know we're not supposed to be alone. We're not. And I feel that the like I said, the universe around us, it speaks volume to us all the time. We really got to take a minute and just look. When we step outside our front door, it's not for us to just dash outside the door. Take a look around first before you take that step out and start your day. Just take a moment and just take a look out. Look at everything around you, the trees, the movement, just everything. Smell the air when you step outside your door, and then start your day, and then take your moments, and then move forward. But move forward with, okay, I'm alive today. I'm breathing, and I've got life, because there's so many people that don't, and there's so many people that are struggling. There's so many people that are sick. There are so many people in pain that we will never be able to see because it is a silent. It does not show itself all the time. And it is the unspoken thing that we don't get to see. Just like stress is the silent killer. Stress. We cannot stress out. In there, we're supposed to give our worries away. We're not supposed to keep them inside. We keep them inside. It ages us. Weight loss was the biggest thing that I could have did for self-help. I lost a whole lot of weight, and right there then I knew I loved myself because I made the choice. Lifestyle changing choices. That's where I feel self-love starts with. You got to really make your routines, your rituals that you do, your things that you, and write these things down, because you know what, we forget. But if we have something to read, like you're saying, on your calendar to look forward to, we got to read it. And we got to read it, and we got to read it over and over, and really let that sit into our cells, because our cells hear us and it follows what we say, what we think. The mind is first and foremost. Mind, body, spirit. How can we get spirit if our mind is not able to receive it because our body is going through something that we're not helping, and we're not listening to our body? That's the most important as far as self-help, is listening to ourselves. If we're tired, if we're this, we're that, listen to ourselves, do some research, do a little bit of research. I love research. Research some stuff, get some knowledge, get some understanding, because not everybody's going to have an answer for you. You got to really dig deep, dive into yourself, and really on your own self quest to get that freedom, that peace, that unworried feeling.
Wow, I was just gliding with you. I think I'm on cloud 9. I don't want to come off of this. My goodness, Tracy,
I am as well.
Tracy, let's go, Tracy, because we hugged a tree today, Tracy.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We did. We did. We hugged the tree. We sat on rocks. We sparkle stacked rocks.
Yep.
It was definitely divine intervention today, and a blessing.
There's my birds. I hear them
Oh
talking.
I
yes,
do hear them.
yes, yes.
Talk about confirmation, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Absolutely. I'm just enjoying the conversation and just listening today. This is my time to listen and find myself in solitude at this time right now. As I just had a wave that took me down, but it's a reason why the wave took me down, because I need to learn to be silenced at times and recognize that be slow to speak and fast to listen. So this is my time right now to just for solitude and be on a solo plane by myself right now. And this flight is just taking off and it's not ready for landing yet.
Mm.
And that's how I have to put that. So from this point forward, I will just continue to listen and apply what's being said to me and take whatever I can and apply it to myself. And again, thank you. So I'm going to mute myself back again. And this is my time to just learn to listen.
Thank you, Tracy.
Absolutely.
Wow. Listen. You guys gonna have to be the co-host and moderator for the rest of this. I'm tapping out. I'm listening too, man. Like, who got something they need to say? Heather, you're right in the center. I'm looking right at you, Heather.
I'm like the Brady Bunch. I'm right in the middle. No, I've always been like, when I go outdoors, I love it. But listening to Stephanie today, I'm like, I have a lot more I need to be doing for myself. A lot more of taking care of myself and listening. I'm like, and I've noticed that throughout this whole entire phase since I've been on this, that I don't do enough of it. I don't do enough stopping and looking, and I used to do that. My husband and I, we hike in the high peaks. I've cried in the woods and seen some of the most beautiful things that take 8 miles to hike into to see. But I think I've forgotten that. So I feel like I'm taking Stephanie in a lot and Shelly, because I've forgotten to do those things. And
You feel good.
what's that?
They feel good.
Well, Stephanie, you put on one of my posts, water. Don't water yourself. It was like I put a post up like a week ago, and I just thought for a second, oh my gosh, like she's right, and like I am a giver, but I forget that. So when I don't have a lot of advice to give, but I can say that throughout this process, since I've started this with you, Sparkle, and with everybody, I am learning that I need to be more self-aware. And if I'm going to continue on this journey with my platform and things I'm doing, I need to make sure that I step back and take care of me. And so I'm definitely learning to do that, and learning to be quiet and let others speak, and be a better listener, and just take in those moments. Like I used to listen to music a lot in the car, and I would like to laugh and cry and do all these things. And now I notice I'm not doing that enough. I'm not even listening to music I like. I'm just on one train track going forward, and I'm not stopping right now. So I really appreciate this episode today, because I'm sitting back and listening to, but I'm chiming in when I can.
Yes,
But
exactly.
we all forget it, as moms, aunts, grandmas, everything, and the healthy eating. When she was talking about that, I need to do better with all of that. I have really high cholesterol, so it's very hard. I love food, and I like cheese, and I like eating bad. So it's been really hard for me to feed myself better and take care of myself. So I'm all over right now. So I'm loving this, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is really, really awesome. I'm coming to you, Miss Erudite, and then be Asia.
With that, Heather, with having high cholesterol, you can control it. I can tell you that. The best thing is to make sure you do not take any statins to lower it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right.
I
You
want
want
to do
to
it
lower
naturally.
natural. Exactly. Because first of all, you're dealing with Western medicine, and it's a whole nother story when you get into that. And Sparkle now. I sit on the boards of the World Health Organization, IMF, as well as the World Bank. Settle large accounts with the Bank of International Settlement. Sparkle knows this.
Yes.
Trust me. When I say the Western medicine is because of the pharmaceutical companies that like to profit. They do not care about us. Now, I'll be honest. You guys have more advantage if you live upstate, because the air and everything is cleaner. When you live down here in the city, you have to detox. Like me, I detox weekly with castor oil wraps. All of that will lower your cholesterol, helps you with your diabetes and different things, because you have to remove those toxins out of the body. Drinking out of plastic, especially water that's been in plastic for so long, is no good, because a lot of that plastic is carcinogenic. So you have to watch everything you do, especially where I'm at. But when you live upstate, a lot of people do live longer than the ones that's living in a city, because they poison us in the city. They poison us in the city. Our air is so polluted. Our food is very toxic. So you are what you eat. So if you're not eating organic and you're eating whatever you want, but then they also putting GMOs in, of course, they're going to make money, because they need high cholesterol patients. They need diabetes patients. They need they need a diabetic. They need all type of patients to keep their pharmaceuticals up to be billionaires. And that's the truth.
I mean, something simple. Why against than just peanuts and peanut butter? I never understood that until I actually read it, and I was like, oh wow, they're really putting stuff in everything. Our simple basic foods everywhere. We really gotta like get some knowledge as far as what are we really putting in our bodies, because it goes through what we put in our mouth is what's going to come in through our skins. It's going to show what we're eating. It always does. We get puffy eyes because we have a lot of salt. We get puffy this because other reasons. But the food is our biggest picture when it comes to self love. Because if we love ourselves, we're going to make that choice to not eat certain things. Fasting, we do not do enough of that, and that's something that people need to really adapt. That fasting is so good. Fat When I was losing weight, I had to fast the morning fast. It was easier for me to do the morning fast. So in the morning, I chose not to eat and I waited until the afternoon. That's how I dropped a lot of the weight. And I didn't need no bypass or anything like that. And I was able to lose a good amount of weight um, from fasting. And then fasting also, if you think about it, that gives the mind a chance to work on the body as opposed to working with digestion foods and having to do this to get the sugars down, sending all these little uh, um, the stuff. What is the stuff that digests the food? Bile.
Mm.
um, it don't have to do that. It gets to just repair itself. It gets to repair itself on a cellular level. This is why fasting is something that we all need to adapt. We all need to not worry as much as food, because really, when we're actually physically hungry, that's the only time we're supposed to be eating. It is not the time when we're bored, when we're upset, when we see something and we smell it and we're like, oh, I just gotta have it because I can. I could get the same whatever somebody's eating. It don't work like that. Our body, we overload our systems with food, and then it's not working right. It can't fight off these viruses and these disease that's coming around all over the place. And it's like it's we got to really get back to just rooty stuff, meaning like fasting, watching the food that we eat, doing our research. We need to do our research. That's self love for ourselves, researching what we can to make sure that this vessel that we've been given, we love it and we treat it right by giving it up our hearts. It's a muscle. Why are we not working it out by doing simple walks? We need to get it to go up and down. It likes to be worked. It doesn't like to just be pumping. It's going to do that. It's already genetically programmed to pump without having to do nothing. But we need to engage it with some activities, simple movements, doing an hour a day of doing stuff, up and down the steps, cleaning up the house, walking outside, doing some yard work, bending forward, bending up, doing this, raising the arms. That is part of what our heart needs. It needs that type of body movement. Our lymphatic system, detox. We put so much crap in our body, we need to detox it. How do we properly detox? This is the research that we got to do. And we got to really look at that and then think about it and make that lifestyle choice. Because it's a lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix. There's no quick fixing. It took us 9 months to grow all this. And mind you, it came to a form of 5 pounds, 7 pounds. That's what we were when we was born. Now we're 100 and something pounds, 200 pounds. So it's like we need to adapt to that and really address it properly and give it the full source that it actually needs, because it has its own source in itself. As long as we treat it right, it'll function right and work properly.
I find myself fasting from concern. Um, this is not good for you. That is not good for you. Try this one, try that one. It's like, oh my goodness, Sparkle. Whatever I pick up, it seems like it's not doing me well. So I just find myself fasting, and when I finally do something, it's something that I prepared or something that is the closest thing that I'm gonna get to healthy because I didn't prepare it. It's really exhausting, especially when you have a busy lifestyle. So, Sarah, that's what I wanted to ask you, because when I hear about busy, I know we're all busy, but I've seen you out there in the field, Sarah. You busy, girl.
Yeah.
Like, how do you find self care? How do you find time for yourself with a busy schedule? I guess the calendar helps, but you're not physically exhausted.
Oh, I mean, I am, but I'm really aligned with what I feel is like my mission right now with my sole purpose and stuff. And so I'm just always regenerated because of that. I also know that like I'm a leader. And so if I get burnt out, like, I can't allow, I don't want to have other people like lose faith and stuff if they see me falter. So like I keep going, but I have tapped into a well, my fire doesn't ever die and stuff.
Mhm.
There are times where it gets very big and it is a bonfire, and other times like smaller, but yeah, so I tend to get more of my me time after the kids go to sleep. My kids are 8 and 11, so I can do a lot more now. Like they're okay, playing, watching TV or something like that in our playroom and whatnot, and I can get more time for myself. I want to do better at using that downtime to actually, like, productive isn't the right word, but it's like do the most soul satisfying like investment in myself during that time. I should not spend 45 minutes after midnight scrolling Instagram just for entertainment, right? Like I really do need sleep. I really do need, extra time in like prayer and gratitude or something like that to my spirit team before I go to bed. So I want to get better with that. But yeah, the other thing is like you don't have to do every single thing on your checklist every single day. I was at the grocery store this afternoon, and I was coming out, and I got this download of like, you need to do an inventory of how you're taking care of yourself. That's what I basically heard. And then I texted Sparkle like an hour later of like, hey, is there a SisStar thing going on tonight? And you
Yeah.
said yes, and you sent me the link, and then this was the topic. And I was like, okay. And then I started sitting down and I was like, what are all the areas, that just off the top of my head come with self-care? I wrote down a lot of things, and I sat down with my kids and I was like, okay, you guys are going to be in charge of some dinners now, right? I want to make sure you have everything for you're in charge for your lunch, you're in charge for your breakfast, but at least once a week, kids are making dinner. And so we've come up with 4 things that everybody likes that kids are able to team up. They can do it by themselves, like just my son or just my daughter, but I do not want to have to, be in charge of 7 different dinners every single week, and I said, we're going to look at my calendar to see which nights are like an easier night where we need leftovers or something easy. When are meals like nights where I can cook and I have the time and stuff, but we just need to be a little bit more of a team. We're having like a shift because my foreign exchange student is going back to Germany. And so now we're kind of back to 3, I don't have to, I really love to feed people. It's a thing I love to do, but I don't have like the other adults now to feed anymore. And so I can like take a lot of that off my plate of just like, just cooking like bigger meals and whatnot. So we're just doing a little bit of a shift here. But, I was trying to think like, okay, I probably need to eat some fruits and vegetables. I remember when my daughter was like, Mom, do you even like bananas? And I was like, yeah, I like bananas. She's like, I've never seen you eat a banana. Because guess what? As moms, we give fresh fruit to the kids, right? Like they go through strawberries. You're like, thank goodness my kid has strawberries, right? Like give it all to them, and it made me think about something my sister said to me at the beginning of the year was like, Sarah, with how well you take care of other people, imagine if you put that same level into you for an entire year, and stuff. And so like that also came back to me today, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to just explore and brainstorm like what that looks like what kind of fruits and vegetables, if I made sure I got them. I set timers on my phone just to check in with myself about my water consumption, because I put hydration on my list, right? I'm like, I'm gonna try to drink 4 of these a day plus a protein shake, and we'll see, just get there. You don't have to just jump to like, what your ideal is. You can kind of walk up a ladder and stuff, but I'm just going to set the intention. I'm going to talk to my guides to like help me out, my spirit team, but just taking it bite size. And that also, I've been telling myself I am not a machine. Like I'm a spirit having a human experience, but like I'm not a machine, and so I can't do all the things all the time, be in all the emotions that I need to be. Like I just need to be my authentic self and do the best that I can today, and then be lucky enough to get another shot at it tomorw.
Right.
I'll step back. That was a lot.
No, that was cool.
I can totally relate to giving my son all the fruits. Like his lunch looks beautiful and his breakfast, and I'm like taking pieces of whatever he has and running out the door. So I totally get it. I totally can relate on that, and that is something I need to put on my list today, is to like give myself some strawberries in the morning. I want some of them. Things like that. The one thing I forgot was when we were talking about, one thing I did start, and I don't know how many of you are into this, but we started gardening at my husband and I have the front yard and he has the backyard. And that's been kind of exciting to do and healing, because watching your own plants grow, something that you're taking care of, has been nice. Like I pull up to the house and I'm like, look how nice our house looks. I did this. Like our house never had plants in front of it. It had 2 bushes for like 10 years. Now we have like hydrangeas growing and flowers and things like that. And it's nice. Like I pull up and I'm pretty proud of that one. So I guess I do have one little thing I'm working on lately, but I wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, the not feeding yourself well and your child. Yeah, I want to make sure my son has everything and he's good. So I hear you on that completely. And lift and water.
Shelly, I am like so distracted. Like I want to come over there and take a sleeping bag or something. Like it's like giving me retreat vibes.
I know.
I don't know if you guys can see it. Do you see the river?
Oh, it's right there.
That's what this is the yard. Ducks are, here, they're coming back. I don't know if you can see them, but they, yeah, no. So I'm just in a good spot. I don't mean like this, but I mean, but here, I mean, I've been, my stresses have been, lifetime. We've all gone through heartaches, and you've all gone through, care of your children, and but I have no idea why, but I don't internalize it as much as I know and hear of others. I don't know if it's because there's a base. I just feel like my base is just so solid, and to fall is usually something external, and external can't go in there. That's just not, I don't get that part, and I'm not from just here, but I mean, just from the, everyone, I try to hear it and listen to it. Because we all have the same innate,
so loud,
everything, but it's just, I mean, I don't think about food. I don't think about me. I it's hard to use the I word. I mean, I get, it's a new, again, 20, 30, 40, and eking into 50. The I is such a tangential thing. I think I'm on the age of the cusp. It was the we and the us, and much more societal, and if you even just if you listen to R&B, and Al Green, Smokey, the Eurythmics, the Police, it's all beseeching on, someone telling them how much they love them or how they want them or they're sorry they hurt them. But it's still it's not like, what you can do for me, or like what clothing I have, or the mirror on me, not me, but I mean on one, on it's much more universal, and a feeling of and if you're taking care of somebody else, or looking out, that the old adage, do unto others as you want done unto you. If you're doing that, then you're already in there being baked and cooked. And and then about the peanut butter, but it's incumbent upon us to read. Period. I mean, there's always price points. There's something can always be made on the cheaper, and it doesn't actually ever mean that it's really dollar cheaper. It just means that those are all solo manufacturers, and when corn syrup and the farmers got their their buyouts for corn to do as ethanol and for corn syrup. Everything is on a gig. Everything's on a get. But we don't have to buy into it. Like if you eat raw sugar, then what are you worried about? Not what are you worried about? It's incumbent upon you to just echo it out, because the dollar store sells cane sugar, unprocessed. Every gig. It infiltrates down so that you can get almond butter. It just says almond butter. It might have an oil or it's just almond butter or peanut butter. You read it and it just says peanut butter, and it's not like 6 times more money. Big Lots. All these kind of random stores, they all have out of the way goods that they choose at a price point, but they're usually European. If you buy everything, you don't even have to get into health and all. If you buy everything that you look at that says Italy, Germany, Belgium, you don't have to worry about GMOs. They don't have them. And that's why, Aldi's is a super, super, supermarket. Because it was started, 2 brothers, Trader Joe's and Aldi's. These are the things that we need to communicate with each other too. We stay in the silo on the I, and the bigger knowledge points are, how do you save your money, get the quality that you need so that you can go do your self-help things, instead of being so covetous about, on the I. But we've not, and in most conversations, it's never mentioned the knowledgeable pieces of how people can have a good life monetarily as well. Especially as Black people, we don't talk about monetary, pieces. It's always like you see something and somebody's telling you what they can get or how much it is but from a commercial aspect, Balenciaga or this or that, who cares? Who cares? And if that's what you're chasing just on that, we're forgetting to tell people, just read that label and just if you can't say the words, then don't buy it. If you can't pronounce the words on it, don't buy it. And guess what? Just as at the market, Walmart and all those, they have those self-checkouts. Don't go to those. You take somebody's job. And when they look to see those lines, they get rid of those checkouts. And actually, they're starting to get rid of them, not because they're not cost effective. And it is cheaper to have a human. And people like the human interaction. And we have controls on that. For the woman or the man, that being the checkout person, we take that job away from them by running over to a self-checkout with the entitlement that, this is faster. You can't wait 5 minutes to keep someone's job. 5 minutes to keep because they look out and they see when those lines are big and they put somebody out there. So we have so much power of helping each other by sometimes disconnecting from that I thing and start thinking a little more we and us. Because for me, that's where my joy comes in. I think sometimes I go out of the house, I had to throw this scarf up because guess what? I didn't comb my hair all day. And then sparkle. And when I knew early in the morning, but then it was getting later and I thought, I should probably do something. But I'm out here mowing and I was doing some garden and it really caught me. I went in the bathroom. I was like, oh my God. Because I almost never look in the mirror because I don't care. Vanity is, bye, peace out. I'll show you who's talking to me. There's a man where are you? Where are you, man in the river? Do you see
wow.
He's got his waders on and he's fishing and he's saying goodbye.
That's pure flow.
But that's all of our flows. That's what I'm saying. it's all here for us to share. It's all bounty. And as long as they've got us siloing, you're watching Instagram, you're watching somebody do a thing for hours, and you're not doing nothing. They've got everybody on the bit. They've got everybody on the bit. And even if it's just a book that you're sitting cozy up with, people aren't reading, I'm too busy to read. What are you too busy with? That's the part I don't really understand. I went to law school. I mean, I've worked, I've been very involved my whole life and but I don't know, like, I've never thought I was too busy for anything. I don't know that one. I pick and choose, like, oh, I don't want to do that. But that's not because I'm too busy. I don't want to do it. I don't even have to fight with myself. Just
we all have our preference.
Yeah, just start thinking in terms of we and us. Lose the I for like 24 hours, 48 hours. I. And if you lose the I for 48 hours, and it's like fasting, learning it or something, it'll become a part of you, because you'll fill that with something, and that filling is the joy. And then at some point, you're not, I don't know.
You're content.
Well, it's just the point counterpoint. I mean, that's what we're all at. And just as sometimes I have to be honest and say, I don't understand, I also want to be as honest to give back and not just be echo speak. Because if I don't have it, I can't do it. But that's the turnstile that makes all of us. And it should be embraced, all of our different gives, versus that we're monolithic somehow. And if it can't be, then the tickling on the brain of like, I don't get it, or it's offending me. That's where we turn. And if you can just get past that one, that's where the oasis is. All of us.
I agree. Thank you, Shelley. Miss Erudite. So the next question I have for you, thank you, Shelley. The next question that I have for you is, how do you balance your roles as a partner, as a professional, and your need for self-care?
Can you repeat the question? I heard you say balance the role as a professional or what?
A professional and a partner, like, your partnership, your relationships. How do you balance those roles with your need for self-care?
That's easy. One thing about me, I come before everything, because if I don't, listen why I say this. This is a very imperative factor to everyone. If I'm not straight, I cannot make sure being a chief financial officer on Wall Street, or even being in a relationship, dealing with relationship does not even have to be a partner. Dealing with relationship could be just family. And I have a large family. So I let them know, I'm doing yoga at this time, or I'm doing Pilates at this time. Please do not interrupt me. Because this is one thing, like they said, a calendar and a schedule, you need that. Because self-care, if you don't have self-care, I don't know how you're going to even be able to manage running any type of financial firm or anything. How are you going to be able to manage your home? Especially for parents. Some parents be out of whack, and their children see that, so they do not need to see that. I always tell my siblings who have children, because I don't have any children, you come before those children. Because if your mental is not there, how are you going to take care of those children? I said, they be like, you right. Yeah, of course I'm right. If your mental is gone and you wind up in an institution, How can you take care of your children in the institution? And they have to think about that question. We have to make time for ourselves. Like me, I get up at 5 in the morning. I make time for myself.
Wait, we can't hear you.
Yes, Sparkle, I can't hear you. You on mute.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Eurodite, let me ask you this.
Hmm.
What advice would you give someone who is struggling to prioritize themselves for self-care?
Okay, if you are struggling um to prioritize yourself, that's a problem. They need to start with a journal, get a calendar, get themselves on a schedule. Especially, why are they struggling? That's the question. Why are you struggling to make time for yourself? Your mental comes before everybody else's. As I stated, you cannot take care of someone if your mental is not there. You cannot run a business if your mental is not there. How can you take care of your loved ones and your mental is not there? This is the reason why it is imperative to understand reverse polarity. If you don't understand reverse polarity, for the ones that are in these relationships and are married, they should understand reverse polarity. Because that man, your husband, will know, yes, you do need some type of self care. I see it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this with these children, and you take some time for yourself. Don't wait till the person have a breakdown.
Seriously.
Understand the reverse polarity.
Thank you, Miss Eurodite. So this question is for you, Stephanie.
Okay.
Can you share a self-care tip that you think everyone should try?
Stretching. Simple as that. Stretching. I feel like anytime I'm stagnant or I'm kind of stuck, I start stretching it out. I stretch it out, and you naturally take deep breaths in, because you're really moving your spine. Your spine is our powerhouse, so it's like we really need to stretch that out and make that nice and flexible, because it's a network in itself, and it's connected to our brain. So if the spine is tight, think about how it's not going to receive the stuff that's going on in our body properly to the brain. It's got tightness back there. I feel like that's one of the biggest places that I get most relief is stretching my back and stretching and simple stretching. It gives you breathe, and move, flexible. You're not as tight, less stress on the body. I think stretching is one of those self helps.
Thank you. I'm trying to stretch now. Boy, stretching sometimes hurt. I'll be like, oh, wait, I think I stretched. This don't make no sense, my body. Lord, have mercy. Heather, you are next. Heather, you are next. I want to ask you the same question.
Oh
Thank you
gosh.
so much, Stephanie. Heather, what do you think is a self-care tip that everyone should try?
I like I like to smile at people a lot because it really changes the room when you walk in there. You know, like it changes a person when you drive by them when they're walking and they smile back at you. You should do it, all of you. When you're in your car and you see somebody next to you or walking, smile at them because they are going to look at you and smile back. And I feel like that's just one thing that I really like to do. And I've noticed I'm noticing it more that I do it. But it's something that I like and it makes me happy. And I've made somebody else happy. You know, just even if it's in passing, I have no idea who they are. I like to smile at people. I know it's like, but it changes my day. It's weird. I don't know. It's something about smiling at other people and them smiling back is something that makes me feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jacking that. I think that's my favorite thing to do. It's the easiest thing for me to do anyway, too.
It changes the whole room, like people always wonder what people are thinking when they come in. But if you just instantly come in and you smile, it's kind of like, oh, it kind of relaxes everything. So I don't know. That's one thing that I have been doing a lot of. I've noticed a lot lately. So
And you have a super smile.
No, very thank you. I recommend you all try it and get back to me on it.
Gotcha. I hope people don't think I'm a weirdo because I smile
Yeah,
a lot.
I
Sarah! Look, I'm going like this to you now, Sarah. I want to
Hey.
hear this.
Okay. All right. So the first thing that came, there's a little bit of a stream of consciousness in case I got asked this question. So the first thing is to set boundaries, right? Setting boundaries is a form of self-care. Using your no, right? And part of it is just like, well, then what do I set boundaries on, right? Do I say like boundaries on no laundry? Like, do you do that? Or you do boundaries on like, if you don't have the energy and someone's asking you to do something, you tell them like, no, I'm not available right now. Or like, you have to wait. I'm teaching my kids, like, I'm not accessible to them all the time. Sometimes I get touched out or like, I am not ready for a hug. I'm not available for a hug, if I'm in a work meeting or something like that, right? Sometimes they are. So I have to tell them like, I love you and I will give you a hug in a little bit, like not right now or something. So using my boundaries, using my no or my not right now, but then also like being unapologetically for something. I'm really learning to be my authentic self and versus a role self that I kind of grew up in. And so when I have those things, it's just like, you know what? I like this. This brings me joy. I like this a lot. This feels good. And I've like kind of connected with my soul, mind, and body, like with it, that it feels right. Like to then build it into my time or like let myself do it, So instead of being like, oh, I like it, but I never have time, like making excuses, just be like, no, I like this. This brings me joy. This makes me happy. Like planting my flag on that hill and stuff has like helped me with my self-care because I can get lost very easily in taking care of others, leading others, caretaking, being a mother role, like fierce leader role. Like I can get lost and spend all my time, but I need to make sure that I am being my authentic self as well. So those are my little tidbits of advice.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Shelly.
Be consistent. Just be consistent. And if you're consistent to yourself, then you're not even thinking, should I, there's no schisms, it's just know thyself. So that when you're not, gosh, you'd be like, you'd be schizophrenic all day long, just everything that came along that you're going, oh, do I, don't, do I, I mean, there's nothing, just be consistent to yourself because yourself drives all the other matters. It's, and if you're authentic and consistent to yourself, then you're not making apologies to almost anything because it's not done with malice or intent. There's nothing awkward because you're authentic to you. And, just find you and find your authenticity to yourself. And it's the driver. You're not, as long as you're, Mr. Potato Head or those dolls that, have like, turn here, like what face am I on? Your face should be on what's authentically you. That's the one. But you're not apologizing for it or second guessing it. You got to have some kind of an anchor of truth to yourself that you're not worried. Do you have self-doubt? Yes, of course. But that one's, but I don't ever doubt myself in my recesses of me. even if something goes wrong or awry, that's later for reconnaissance to figure out, like, that was interesting, because there's usually something teaching in there. But yeah, no, I'm not doing any real big battles inside of like what my authenticity is. And if I had to give anybody any gift, it's like, just find your unapologetic you to yourself, and then it all rides after that. You're not on the schisms of who's saying what. Even whoever's saying what about you, what do you care? What do you care?
Yeah,
Really?
definitely. Whoever says anything about me, that's not my business. It's what I say about myself that actually penetrates and matters the most.
True that. True
yes,
that.
yes. Tracy, are you still with us? We almost closing out
I
here.
am.
Okay,
I
very
am.
good. I'm happy that you are, Mahogany. Can you share a self-care tip that you think everyone should try?
Just water your plants. If you have any plants, if you don't have a plant, buy a plant from Price Chopper, water that plant. And if you feel like you want to talk to that plant sometime, talk to that plant. You laughing, but he think I'm crazy, but
No. True that. True that. You're not crazy.
Oh, I
Now,
know I'm not. Trust
if it
me.
talks back, no.
He don't know who he messing with. That's all. He don't
Okay, very
understand,
good.
and it's okay. And it's okay if you
Thank
don't
you,
understand.
Tracy. Yes, he
You're
doesn't.
welcome.
That's why it's called
It's
the
not.
SisStar Cipher.
It's not for him to understand. It's for me.
That's right. Shine on, and Beasia
Absolutely.
rise. Thank you, Tracy. The question is, can you share a self-care tip that you think everyone should try?
A self care tip that I think everyone should try. Also, okay, one can be journaling, journaling it because that helps to keep a journal because you get to write about your day, write about your experiences, just write about anything, and then you also have like you can write down 5 good things that happened one day or one good thing that happened throughout the 7 days of the week. um, I think everyone should like try putting them more down on paper so they don't forget and they keep in mind the things that goes good or beneficial in their lives through journaling.
Very good. And Miss Erudite, the same question. Thank you, Beasia.
Same question. Um,
Yes.
I will always, like I said, when I get up, meditation for me. That's the first thing. That's why I love to do my yoga and some type or some Pilates, some core strengthening. That's what I do because that's what's going to get my day going.
Very good. I asked you already, right, Stephanie? Okay. All right. Very good. I just want to make sure I got everybody in there.
But you didn't answer.
Okay. So you're right. I think that everybody should try taking a deep breath. You know, sometimes when I'm caught up with whatever, I'm like, when I get information, I'm processing it, but I'm like, Sparkle, are you breathing? And then when I start breathing, I realize that I wasn't even breathing. Or if I was breathing, I wasn't breathing conscious breathing. I wasn't a mindful breath, right? So when I'm going to be specific and say, I think everyone should try mindful breathing, which means you're going to take a pause out just to realize where you are, how you're feeling, and what you're going to do next, like a little bit of a self scan. It doesn't take long. It could take about 60 seconds, about a minute to 5 minutes. You just take a little self scan just to identify where and what you are. What you do next can be scheduled if you take a moment to just breathe. And also practicing self-control, and I believe taking a deep breath is the gateway to self-control, because you be like, even dragon breaths, like, hold up, like before I, do a next thing or another thing, I think everyone should just try some real good deep breaths. And so we're closing out, and I just wanted to share with our listening audience. Oh, before we close out, we have some comments here. I don't want to forget the people who left comments. I'm going to take this one off, and I'm going to go to comments. So Angela Carr says, hello, ladies. She's watching from Facebook. Hi, Angela. Thank you for watching as usual.
Yeah.
And Ann Knox, also watching from Facebook, says, hello, Queens. I love it. Exclamation, dot, dot, dot. And Keisha Daniel, who's watching from YouTube, says, balance motions. All right. And I just want to remind everyone that today is actually going to be our last SisStar Cipher Vodcast until September 22nd. So this, I think, is really good alignment. What I learned from going to Sarah's moon party, I got this, we had some sound bath therapy, man. That cleared some real stagnant energy with that sound therapy. And I've been drinking a lot of water as a result, which was recommended. And then we had this, this bonfire, doing this moon ritual. It was just so eye-opening. And my takeaways was, we put some stuff into the fire, to the flame, to that bonfire, write it down on a piece of paper, and we threw it in that fire. Now I'm thinking back in hindsight, it's a couple of things I forgot, but I'm going to do it at home, with a candle or something, or, burn this stuff. But the Capricorn in 6th house for me, when you said something like letting go, and then the next day we're going to focus on gratitude. So I was grateful. I was full of gratitude that I was able to let go. You know how hard it was for me to let go of stuff. So it's like a 2-for-1 thing. And then when Tracy and I went to the lake today, I was able to cleanse myself after letting go. So here's a reset. And here I am with my SisStars ending this summer solstice. Beginning this summer solstice. 6 months left to this calendar that we follow. And I feel so balanced, and I'm going to take these next 3 months off so I can review, reflect, reform, and come back and with a restoration on September 22nd, which is a really good number, the double twos. But I'm going to just let everybody know what I've read on my calendar. This was actually on my calendar, ironically enough. The old school calendars, I guess, that is actually you put up on a wall. So every month it has something. And I looked at it today after I came out the bathroom. I've never seen it the whole month of June. And it spoke volume to me today. And it says the health benefits of self-compassion. Okay. So self-compassion is the conscious decision. Self-compassion is the conscious decision to speak positively to oneself after failure, disappointment, or feelings of inadequacy. Practicing self-compassion can help lower anxiety levels, improve sleep, and reduce depressive thoughts. Next time something bad happens to you, think of what you would say to a good friend if the same thing happened to him or her. Use these same compassionate responses towards yourself instead of manifesting negative thoughts or angry emotions. So, self-compassion, ladies. And thank you for joining me for this season 1 of SisStar Cipher. We'll be back with season 2 in September. Thank you for joining us, ladies. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Everyone have a good weekend.
A good summer. A good summer.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Summer. I forgot
Have a great summer. And
Keep
peace to everyone.
shining. Keep
That's right.
shining.
Peace to everyone.